Fusion has been a technique discussed a lot in the Dragon Ball community. People can't decide whether or not it was a good addition to the series, but one can't deny that Fusion has brought us very memorable characters to the series, such as Goten and Gogeta. However, one character that's always been talked about in the community is Vegito, the Potara fusion between Goku and Vegeta. There was a time where Vegito was seen as the most badass fusion, where he was the strongest out of everybody else. However, all these debates and praise for the character seemed to die down after what Dragon Ball Super did to Potara fusion, basically making the fusion, well, no longer permanent. The entire concept of having the Potara fusion being permanent is an idea talked about a lot. The possibilities of what if Vegito never defused was a topic talked about a lot in the community. And a manga adaptation called Dragon Ball Multiverse tried to adapt this idea into their storyline. And this storyline always seemed to interest me. I always thought about how different Dragon Ball would be if, say, Vegito was around. How would he deal with the events of, say, Buu, for example, or how would he deal with the events of Beerus coming to Earth? Well, that's what we're going to talk about today. There is an alternate universe out there where Vegito never defused, and that entire premise of the Potara fusion not being permanent is completely debunked. In this universe, it's completely permanent. This is a timeline, a universe, where Vegito never defused. Buhan floats there, alone, in the sky, soon bursting into laughter, because he soon realizes that he has absorbed Vegito, the fusion between Goku and Vegeta, the only being in the entire universe that stood in his path of universal conquest. The only people strong enough to ever defeat him once and for all is now resting within his body. With this brand new power, Buhan bursts out into laughter because nobody in the universe can ever stop him with this new power. However, unknowingly to him, this was part of Vegito's plan all along. He wanted to get absorbed, so that way he could save everyone within Buu's body. Within Buu's body, we see Vegito standing there, deactivating the energy shield, the very shield that forbade him from getting absorbed into Buu's body. Now, it was at this point in the manga and anime where Vegito defused, where Goku and Vegeta split apart and Vegeta decided to break the earrings. However, that does not happen in this story. No, but instead, they stay fused. Vegito wanders, looks around, to where everyone could possibly be. It was cold and dark within the body. Vegito, panicking, trying to figure out where everyone is, because if he leaves Buu out there in the real world for too long, he could potentially destroy the entire universe if he's not fast enough. Vegito dashes around the area, trying to find the central area where everyone he absorbed was located. Then he found them all, Gohan, Gotenks, all within their little capsules. Vegito then activates his energy blade and proceeds to cut out everybody, first taking out Gohan, the very thing that's powering Super Buu in the first place. Now, Super Buu on the outside is deactivating, slowly degrading into his original state. He frees Gohan and then proceeds to do the same for Gotenks and Piccolo. But at that very moment he freed Piccolo, tiny versions of Buu appeared within the body, proceeding to attack Vegito, trying to stop him from releasing everyone else, but they were no match for Vegito. His power was way too strong for anyone inside. He was able to defeat them all one by one. No matter how much Buu tried to send out in order to stop him, it was no use. Vegito was able to blast them all away with his great power. Then he proceeds to cut down everyone else, antagonizing Buu in the process, because he remains powerless against Vegito's great power. Then he finds one more, Majin Buu. Now Vegito thinks to himself whether or not he should leave this Buu behind. Don't forget, this is not the same Goku and Vegeta we once knew. They weren't as heartfelt as they were. He felt more cocky and arrogant, and believed that he could just leave without Majin Buu. However, Super Buu thought that he was about to release the original Majin Buu, so he comes out and begs Vegito not to release Majin Buu. Of course, Vegito, wanting to remain more powerful than Super Buu, antagonizes him, pulls around, and plays with the capsule that remains inside Majin Buu. He freaks out, and then Vegito pulls out Majin Buu, causing him to get released from his body. Not only releasing him, but releasing all the Z fighters from Buu's body. They all broke free. Vegito was able to save everybody. Everyone was left on the ground, resting. And then Vegito looked over to Buu, who seemed unusual, freaking out for the fact that he no longer has anybody left in him. He starts forming into something else. Into Kid Buu. At this very moment, Kibito Kai freaks out, for he now realizes what form Buu has taken. he has taken his original form, the same form that took down the very Kaioshins that once ruled the entire universe. Kibito Kai warned Vegito about this epidemic, and told him to proceed with caution, but of course Vegito could feel his power. He realized that he still remained way stronger than he did, so of course he used this to his advantage, and absolutely destroyed Kid Buu in battle. Kid Buu tries to fight back with everything he has, ki blasts, everything, but Vegito keeps on outsmarting him in almost every way, severely beating up Kid Buu. Elder Kai and Kibito Kai finally start celebrating because they think they finally won this battle. Vegito, of course, wants more out of the battle. He's disappointed with how this original form of Buu plays out. Kid Buu is absolutely no match against Vegito. In his arrogance, Vegito fires up an energy blade and cuts off one of Kid Buu's arms, falling onto the ground. And then wanting to end this off quickly, Vegito fires one big bang attack, completely obliterating Buu in the process. Elder Kai and Kibito Kai burst out in laughter, super happy. Kid Buu is finally gone from this world. Kibito Kai can now finally rest, knowing that his friend's sacrifices were in vain. Vegito was there, depowering up into his normal form. He was disappointed, however, with the fight. He expected way more from Majin Buu, but he was still happy that the fight was over and that everyone was safe. Gohan and everyone woke up, and they're excited to wake up to the sight of Goku and Vegeta, who were the ones that defeated Majin Buu, but they woke up to Vegito. They never understood who this person was, so Vegeta had to introduce himself. They had no idea who this person was. Vegito then explains to everyone else that he is the fusion between Kakarot and Vegeta. Now, of course, a lot of people find this weird at first, because now that the fusion is permanent, they have to figure out a way to live with this new merged version of Goku and Vegeta. Of course, Kid Trunks realizes that this is not his true father, but then Goten brings up the idea that they are now essentially brothers because of the fact that their fathers have fused into one. So of course, Goten and Trunks love this idea at first. They're celebrating. Piccolo, of course, accepts this and just happy that he doesn't have to deal with Vegeta's arrogance anymore. Gohan, of course, accepts it because he had no choice in the process. This is the only way they believed they could defeat Buu, and of course, everyone had to accept it. Everyone started celebrating, and everything seemed to be safe. Until that little piece of Buu's arm that Vegito cut off was still left on the ground. It wasn't destroyed. Vegito believed he was able to destroy every bit of Buu, but due to his arrogance, he left one piece behind. Buu saw this and finally merged into his normal Kid Buu form, sneaking around, hiding his power level to where the Z-Fighters started to celebrate. They were about to lift off into the sky and go back to the Dende's lookout in order to celebrate. But then at that fateful moment, Kid Buu used that opportunity to absorb one more person, and that person was Gohan. He was able to fully absorb him, finally becoming Buuhan once more, and then pushing everyone back. Buuhan has officially returned and is now ready to fight Vegito once again. Vegito was shocked. He couldn't believe that he could let something like this ever happen, and he was forced to fight Buuhan once more. He wanted to end the fight quickly, but he couldn't because he realized if he were to kill the likes of Buuhan, then Gohan would die along with him. He didn't want to take that chance, so during the fight, Vegito holds back his power on purpose, making Buuhan believe that he has the upper chance against Vegito, but Vegito's only doing this to make sure that Gohan is safe. Buuhan finally pushes Vegito back and wants to end it all with one final blast. Vegito didn't want to do anything too powerful because he runs the risk of killing Gohan. He didn't want to take that chance, but when Super Buu was about to charge up his final attack, Piccolo has an idea. He mentally tells Vegito that he's going to allow himself to get absorbed by Buu once again, but instead activate an energy shield, similar to what Vegito did, so he can prevent himself from getting properly digested by Buu. Piccolo wanted to do this so that way he could save Gohan before Buu could have the chance of destroying the planet. Vegito reluctantly agrees to this plan, and Piccolo allows himself to get absorbed by Buu once again. Vegito gets ready, powers up into a Super Saiyan state, and is about to fire a final Kamehameha at Buu. Buuhan powers up his final attack, and he is ready to destroy the entire Earth. As Vegito charges up his final Kamehameha, he purposely holds it on for much longer, giving Piccolo more time to save Gohan. Then we focus on Piccolo, who has been digested by Buu. However, he was able to successfully prevent himself from getting absorbed because of the energy shield surrounding him. When he's inside Buu's body, he looks around the place to find Gohan, and there he finds him, in the exact same area Vegito found everyone else after they were absorbed. Piccolo then rushes to help Gohan, but then little mini versions of Super Buu attacked Piccolo, completely outnumbering him, for Piccolo does not have the same strength as Vegito, so we have a much harder time finding the mini Buus inside. On the real world, Buhan finally charges up his attack and releases it onto Vegito. Vegito had no choice but to fire it. He purposely held back his power so that way Piccolo can be given more time, but if he's too late, then he runs the risk of killing Piccolo and Gohan in the process. Inside the body, Piccolo challenges off the boos, firing them with special beam cannons, Hell Zone grenades, trying everything he can to fight them off. But then he realizes that he's being outnumbered. He won't have a chance, so he does the last thing he could possibly do. Charges up to his full power and pushes back all the boos, so that way he can rush straight to Gohan and find a way out. All the boos pile up, trying to chase after Piccolo while they still can. He's trying to desperately find a way out. Vegito's struggling with the beam. He has to hold it back so that way no one would ever get hurt and wouldn't kill Gohan and Piccolo. But then, of course, Buhan is kept laughing. His attack is far more powerful. He charges it up again and again and again, and the beam grows bigger and bigger, and Vegito's starting to lose a lot more strength. Vegito wondering what would happen to Piccolo. Then in a last-minute attempt, Piccolo breaks free and was able to let loose Gohan from Buu's captivity. And then at this very moment, Buu's power started to degrade back into his Kid Buu form. When this happened, Vegito used this to his advantage and then went Super Saiyan 3 and fired the final Kamehameha at his full power, hitting directly to Kid Buu, killing him once and for all. Because Piccolo was able to save Gohan, everything could finally be at peace. Gohan wakes up to see that Buu has finally been defeated, and Vegito is there to help him up. Vegito then thanks Piccolo for his bravery and was able to save everybody. Now that Buu is finally defeated, everyone could properly celebrate because there's no chance that he would ever return. Now in the original storyline, Goku fired the Spirit Bomb that killed Kid Buu in the process, basically wishing for a reincarnation of Buu in order to appear, a good version of Buu, so that way he could challenge him once again. This person would eventually become Oob, as we know in the story, but because it's Vegito, this never happens. He doesn't have the same mindset as Goku and has more of a cocky attitude, so he never wishes for that monster Buu to come back in any shape or form, preventing Oob from ever being brought into the Dragon Ball universe in the first place. They go back to Dende's lookout and was able to revive everyone using the Dragon Balls. All the humans that Buu has killed has now been revived. On Dende's lookout, everyone was greeted to Vegito. Finding the idea of having Goku and Vegeta in their lives merged together was strange, especially took a toll on Chi-Chi and Bulma. They did not like the idea first, but they had to eventually accept it, because this is the only way they could save the Earth from Buu. So Bulma and Chi-Chi had to devise a plan in order to share their two husbands with each other. Chi-Chi wanted Vegito to still visit Goten, because he still viewed him as a son. Vegito of course accepts this and does the exact same for Trunks. Everyone now can finally rest with their family. Krillin and 18 now devise a plan on what they can do for the future and how to provide for Marin, who is now growing much older ever since the time with Buu. Tien says goodbye to everybody as he decides to leave everyone behind once more to build his own dojo, so that way he can teach everything he has learned to the next generation of fighters. Everyone now settles down, and Vegito says one last goodbye to everybody, as he believes that now he is stronger. He now has the opportunity to keep on training and to make sure that Earth can remain at peace once again. However, ever since the entire battle with Kid Buu, Gohan has been lost. He couldn't believe that he allowed himself to get absorbed by Buu once more. He was too weak and too settled down that he wasn't ready for when Kid Buu absorbed him once more. He was distracted by this, and says one last thing to Videl, that he will be leaving for a while in order to train with Vegito, in order to become stronger, so that way nothing like that could ever happen to him ever again. He goes to Vegito and explains his situation. Vegito gladly accepts his offer, and is now willing to train Gohan in his own way. Now because Vegito and Gohan are going to be training together, Gohan would be way more stronger than he would in Dragon Ball Super. So then Vegito and Gohan go off, saying goodbye to everybody, then they leave in the distance to continue their training, thus ending the Buu arc completely. Everyone could finally remain at peace. But little did they know that a certain god of destruction was finally waking up from his nap, and he seeks the one called a Super Saiyan God. And that's it for this What If video. Yeah, I know it was a little bit short and everything, and I do apologize if it seems amateurish, but I've never done one of these before, and it's just sort of an experiment video. I really did enjoy making this, and it was really fun coming up with my own idea for a plot. Next episode will be when Beerus comes to Earth, the start of Dragon Ball Super. If this video does well enough, of course. If this video does well enough, then I'll definitely do part 2 as soon as possible. Thank you all so much for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and leave the comments below on what ifs would you like to see in the future, because I like doing these videos, and I think they're really fun, so I want to do more of them. Anyway, thank you all so much for this video. Hopefully you all enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time.